What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, Iowa State gets got. Texas Tech ends up getting the dub. Kennedy Carter is talking about the WNBA and a whole lot more. Quit in the Morning starts right now.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get going with the day that was. Got some amazing games to talk about, and I, for one, hope you all are ready for it. And let's actually begin with Iowa State getting exposed. Here's the thing. Yesterday, Iowa State played Cincinnati, who at the time was, I believe, tied for the worst team in the Big 12, and they proceeded to lose. Not just another bad loss, but this one comes on the road again against the Bearcats, where Iowa State fell 71 to 63 as the final score. And no one can say that this was a good loss. It just wasn't. It was bad. It was absolutely bad. It was a bad loss against a bad team because this Cincinnati team, as I just said, they came into last night tied for last place in the Big 12. This is a team that has lost 10 games this season. This is a team that had no business beating Iowa State. This is a Cincinnati Bearcats team that has not won a game against a ranked opponent since 2011. And that was until Iowa State walked into their arena and they were like, you know what? We're about to get this dub. We're about to get this dub. And let me just be very clear. Yes, Iowa State did get got in this one. And also, Cincinnati earned this win. 100% they earned this win. This was a game where they came out aggressive. They defended with a lot of purpose. This was a team that never let up in this game. They never looked intimidated by the greatness of Iowa State. It seemed like they looked Iowa State in the face and was like, oh, I think we got y'all. Sure, y'all are the number 11 team in the country, but today is your day to get got again. And that's exactly what happened. And in this one, I do have to give some special shout outs to some players for Cincinnati. Huge shout out to the senior Maya Perry, who was absolutely outstanding in this game. She finished with 26 points in this one. She was 10 of 11 from the field, 10 of 14 from the field. She knocked down 4 huge three-pointers in this game. She helped to control the pace for her team and really looked fantastic. Yeah, she had a couple of not so great turnovers, but overall, Maya Perry was fantastic in this game. And she really did help to lead the charge for her squad. And I just love to see it. I absolutely love to see it. Cincinnati shot nearly 50% from the field. They got to the free throw line. And they made their free throws. I mean, they weren't perfect from their free throws, but they did significantly better than Iowa State did on their free throws. And the Bearcats, they get to the rim and they get fouled quite a bit. They ended up, and also they out-rebounded Iowa State. This is a Cincinnati team that, again, is not that good. They're just not. But even with that being said, they were able to out-rebound Iowa State 44-30. And that matters a lot because rebounding in a lot of ways did kind of cost, it did kind of cost Iowa State this game. How they kind of got crushed on the rebounding front. And I just got to give a huge shout out to Cincinnati. This was a fantastic game against, again, the number 11 team in the country. Now, let's kind of switch gears from talking about the greatness of Cincinnati, which again, they stepped up and played a fantastic game. And let's talk about Iowa State. Because this loss yesterday is worse because of the context of the loss for Iowa State. Because Iowa State they already came off of a loss. This was a team that was undefeated. They lose against Baylor on Sunday, and that was a very, very close game. Like, they barely lost in that game against Baylor. And you would think that they would adjust and play better, right? The expectation was simple. You lose at home against Baylor. You get got against Baylor, a ranked team, but also, not ranked as high as you. So you get got at home. You go on the road against a team that is not good in the Big 12. And you expect them to respond. You expect them to reassert themselves and say, you know what? Yeah, we're back. But that did not happen. And I would be remiss to not mention the fact that a huge glaring hole for Iowa State yesterday was Addie Brown. Addie Brown did not play in yesterday's game. She is the second leading scorer for Iowa State. She did not play due to a back injury. So that is something to note that did absolutely matter. Her absence really did change some of the way that Iowa State played their offensive hand, and also it changed how Cincinnati could defend Iowa State, because Addie Brown is a fantastic shooter for Iowa State, and without her, you can focus a little bit more on Audi Crooks. And let's talk about Audi Crooks, because on paper, Audi Crooks finished with 23 points, 10 rebounds, right? If you just look at that, you may say, oh, Audi Crooks played well. Sure, she didn't shoot as efficiently as she normally does, but she played well. But if you actually watch the game, that kind of told the story about this one, and how, in a lot of ways, Cincinnati kind of exposed what we basically already knew about Audi Crooks. Because in this game, we saw several defenders going against Audi Crooks. And yes, Audi did score, but she didn't score efficiently at all. Audi Crooks is someone who scores extremely efficiently because her shots are basically all at the rim. But even then, they sent multiple bodies. They were physical with her, and she wasn't as efficient as she normally was. And that leads us to sort of see her game in a slightly different light. Because, let's just be honest, Audi Crooks was not good on defense. But also, if we're honest, this is not the first time Audi has struggled defensively. It's just not. Right? But this time, it just couldn't be ignored. There's a lot of times when Audi is scoring, 35, 40 points. She's doing her thing, and she's scoring so many points that you don't pay attention to her at times basically being a cone on defense. You don't pay attention to it. But Cincinnati, it seemed like they knew that, if you are rolling to the basket and Audi Crooks is near the rim, you have a good chance of making something happen. Either she's going to foul you, or you're probably going to get the shot off. there were several times in this game where Audi was actually basically right there to either stop the ball from getting to the rim or block a shot or do something to sort of stop the player with the basketball from going to the rim. And she just sort of stood there a lot of times as players scored. And again, this is not new. She's like pretty known for being slow to rotate, for being late on help defense. And it got exposed even more because she wasn't as dominant on the offensive end. And so, yeah, that's definitely a thing. And if Iowa State wants to fix that, that's not something that I think can be fixed mid-season. I think that's something that has to be worked on in the offseason. It has to be, because there is a just level of effort and hustle that needs to happen in order for Audi to be good on defense. And so, yeah, when we think about the WNBA conversations, when we think about her, signing that NIL deal with Unrivaled, you think about the future of Audi playing basketball. Audi's great when things are clicking on the offensive end. However, her level of defense just won't cut it in the WNBA. It won't cut it in Unrivaled. It just won't. And so, yeah, this is off-season work. This is film work. This is positioning and conditioning and awareness and just hustle. And hopefully that eventually changes. But yeah, it got exposed. Not for the first time. Not for the last time this season, I'm sure. Anyway, shout out to Cincinnati for getting the dub. They absolutely earned that historic win. But for Iowa State, this is now a pattern, not a blip. 2 back-to-back upset losses. Addie Brown's out with the back injury. We don't know how longer she's going to be out. This is a team that is going to struggle if she is out for any longer. And they do got some challenging games, including a game against West Virginia on Sunday, which, if they don't get it together, they're going to lose 3 in a row. I can pretty much guarantee it. If they play like they did yesterday, they're losing for sure to West Virginia. So, yeah. And with that being said, let's actually move on and talk a little bit about West Virginia. Because yesterday, West Virginia took on Texas Tech, and Texas Tech ended up undefeated still. This was a game that I told y'all about yesterday. I told y'all that y'all should probably check out the Texas Tech versus West Virginia game. And boy, oh boy, I loved it. This was a fantastic game where, in a lot of ways, West Virginia looked really, really good. And I actually thought that West Virginia was about to get the upset loss. However, in the fourth quarter, basically West Virginia forgot how to score. We saw Texas Tech increase their defense, and we saw the Bailey, we saw the Bailey Maupin show, ladies and gentlemen. That's the person that's in the picture. Bailey Maupin, I tell you, this girl knocked down some huge threes in the fourth quarter, had some game-sealing steals, and overall was just doing everything. Getting to the free throw line, making her free throws. Bailey Maupin finished the game with 27 points. A large amount of those were in the fourth quarter in clutch minutes, as she basically was like, you know what? We're not losing. Yes, we are on the road. Yes, we are in the Coliseum at West Virginia, but we are going to get this dub. We're going to make some stuff happen. And Bailey Maupin really did help to put her team on her back in this in the fourth quarter of the game, as the Lady Raiders end up taking down the Mountaineers 71-66. This was a game. Absolutely, this was a game. And I hope you all seriously consider watching Texas Tech. This team means business. Yeah, Stephanie has not played, I don't think she was even there. I don't remember seeing her on the bench. But she's going to be joining the team hopefully in February. But even before February, you need to be watching the Lady Raiders. They are still undefeated, 17-0 on the season, 4-0 in the Big 12. They're probably going to win the Big 12. I thought the Big 12 was going to be more of a Iowa State thing to lose, and it seems like Iowa State is definitely losing it. And West Virginia is there to be like, or not West Virginia, and Texas Tech is there to be like, you know what? We're the new top dogs of the Big 12. So shout out to Bailey Maupin and Texas Tech for ultimately getting the dub. Next up, Asia Wilson and Bam Adebayo step out in Champaign-Urbana to watch some games. Here is what Illinois head coach had to say.
She reached out and wanted to come. There's, I don't know exactly why. I had met her before when I was at Dayton, and she would come to some of our practices. She used to date a Dayton men's player, so she was around. I don't know if maybe I heard one of our players had TikToked or whatever you call it at her. I don't know. But she reached out to us and wanted to come, and obviously we're gonna want her here all the time, and it was great. We watched some stuff, and used some of the things she's gone through yesterday when I told the team she was going to be here, watch some motivational things with her, and then it was awesome that she got to talk to our team after, and just had a really great message for them. And it's probably the perfect time for her to be here. I would have loved to win with her here, but sometimes after a tough loss, they're sick of hearing me talk. And it was good that, Asia kind of, reiterated a lot of things that we talk about every day, and about, how to sustain greatness and the work that it goes into it, and some of her leadership advice to this team. And then they got to ask a couple questions. So it was awesome. What an unbelievable player, but she's just a really great person, and that I respect a ton. So it's pretty cool to have her, and Bam came with her. So hopefully everyone, I don't know how many people in the crowd actually noticed she was there, but I guess they announced it. So pretty cool.
So again, yesterday, Asia and Bam were in attendance in Champaign-Urbana as Illinois took on Ohio State, and that was also a game to see. Ultimately, we did see Ohio State get the dub against the Fighting Illini. This was a game where Jelani Cambridge, ladies and gentlemen, Jelani Cambridge is a beast. 100% a beast. We all know this. Like, this is not a new thing. If you've been watching college basketball for the last 2 years, you know about Jelani Cambridge. You know what a just bucket this girl is. And yesterday she was on one, scoring 41 points in this game. 41 points, 15 to 25 from the field. She kept getting to the free throw line because when it comes to Jelani Cambridge, she is going to the basket. She's putting her head down, getting to the basket, and making stuff happen. And that's exactly what she did yesterday. And, when you're doing that, you're going to get fouled, right? You're going to get fouled, and you gotta make some shots. And that's exactly what she did. She went to the free throw line, made some shots. She had some mid-range buckets, made, I believe, 2 3-pointers in yesterday's game. Yeah, Jelani Cambridge, she's a beast. And also, she's only a sophomore. So, hey, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? She absolutely willed this Ohio State team for the dub, because the Fighting Illini, they were fighting in this one, right? This was not a game that was an easy one for Ohio State. Ultimately, this final score was 78 Ohio State, 69 Illinois. And this was a game where, it could have gone either way, but at the end of the day, big shot makers hit big shots. And yesterday was the Jelani Cambridge show, which, duh. Not the biggest of surprises, but absolutely something to note. And she just does her thing. So shout out to Jelani Cambridge for just reminding us how great of a player you really are. All right, next up, I want to move, actually, real quick, before we move on from college basketball, just some quick updates if you all did not watch those games. We did see a very close one between TCU and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State usually or recently has had TCU's number, but not this year, as TCU takes down Oklahoma State 69-61. At TCU, this was a battle of a game where ultimately TCU was able to get separation in the fourth quarter and ultimately got the dub. And then we saw St. John's take on UConn, which, I mean, we expected a blowout. We got a blowout. Final score 88-43 as Sarah Strong does her thing, scores 24 points. Just, it's UConn. It's Big East play. There is no competition, really, for UConn and Big East play. And that's that. Okay? All right. Next up, let's talk about the WCBA, which is the Women's Chinese Basketball Association. And this is a league that we do see quite a few WNBA players play in. And you all may know Zhang Zi. She is a 18-year-old. She stands at 7'5", and she is pretty new to the WCBA. She played in her second professional game, and in that game, she faced the likes of both Kalani Brown and Queen Egbo, and after the game, it was a pretty significant win for Kalani and Queen Egbo's team. They actually won the game 93-75. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because of this picture, and this picture was actually posted by Kalani Brown herself. And she said, "Fighting for my life is an understatement, but I guess that's how people feel going against me." All right. So I just thought this was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious, because here's the deal. Kalani Brown is 6'7". She's listed as 6'7", and this is her standing right next to a 7'5" player. How insane is that? Yeah, it's pretty insane. It's pretty insane. And I just thought it was kind of fun. So yeah, I wanted to talk about it. I want to talk about it because I was just like, whoa, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane in the membrane. Insane. Got no brain. And guys, I'm sorry. I actually just realized that I'm actually streaming on the Quita Loves Sports channel instead of the Quita in the Mornings channel. That was accidental. That was not on purpose at all. Tomorrow we'll be back on the Quita in the Mornings channel. That was not intentional. But I just thought this photo was hilarious, and so I wanted to share it with you all. All right, so yeah. Imagine if Kalani Brown looks like that. Y'all, I am 5'6"? Yeah, I'm no match. I'm no match for this 7'5" player. I mean, right? She's not that good, but just with a little bit more time, hey, who knows? Who knows what can happen? And you want to know what else? Who knows what can happen this year when it comes to your business? Here's the deal. This is a new year, and in the new year, it's a fresh start. It is a fresh start for you. And if you are interested in creating your own business, well, Shopify is here for you because you can channel the fresh start energy of this new year by launching a business with Shopify. 2026 is a year for you to rewrite your story and rewrite your future. Make your own entrepreneur dreams come true. Maybe you've been thinking about an idea for a long time. This may be the year for you to do that, and Shopify can help you with that because they give you everything you need to sell online and in person. That means millions of entrepreneurs, they've already made the leap on Shopify, and they've seen some great success. You have multi-million-dollar businesses on Shopify. You also have small businesses like myself on Shopify as well, because Shopify is there for everybody. And they're there as you grow. As you grow and handle more orders, you expand to new markets, you can do it all with Shopify because Shopify is there for the big and small businesses alike. So in 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. Again, that is shopify.com/allcity. Shopify.com/allcity. You can hear your first ka-ching, ka-ching this new year with Shopify by your side. All right, guys, now it is time for us to talk about the story that I have been excited to talk about all day. And that is Chennedy Carter, who spoke on the WNBA. Here's what Chennedy Carter had to say.
You really consider that come back to WNBA?
Yeah, I see the love and support online every time I post something. I think it's more so of like me just being where I'm accepted, where I'm appreciated, and where I'm loved. I feel like my situation is one of the misunderstood situations in the country, but me just being able to play in China, play for multiple teams, my coaches love me, my teammates love me, I'm embraced here. I mean, it's self-explanatory. So me, I'm just focused on getting the big bag for sure. You know that, and just growing my game. I feel like I'm a mastermind at this level. I've mastered the game of basketball, so y'all may see me do some other things too in the future, because once you master one thing in this life and in the life of business, you continue to go and you elevate and you go to different things.
So that was Chennedy Carter getting asked about possibly coming back to the WNBA, and personally, y'all know this if y'all been watching this channel for any length of time. You all know how big of a Chennedy Carter fan I am. Chennedy Carter is one of the best players in the world. She just is. She has a quickness and speed that most players cannot defend against. They just can't. Like, if you watch Chennedy Carter play, she has been putting some of the best players in the world on skates since she was in college, guys. Yeah. You all know the story of when Chennedy Carter was in college, ended up going against some of the U.S. national team players, and she was giving them the business. I'm just saying, she's been at it for a long, long, long time. And yes, her last team was with the Chicago Sky. Whatever happened, she's now not in the league. This is someone who has the talent to be in the WNBA 100%. It just depends on whether a team wants to grab her, honestly. She said, again, I just played the quote, but of what she said. But if y'all missed it, she said, "I think it's more of me just being where I'm accepted, where I'm appreciated, and where I'm loved. I feel like my situation is one of the misunderstood situations in the country." And yeah, probably. Here's the thing: we've heard a lot of rumors and all that stuff about Chennedy and the WNBA. We haven't heard any negative thing really from any of her teammates, or at least for her teammates on the Chicago Sky, I should say. And it is still slightly a mystery as to why exactly the Chicago Sky did not bring her back. Of course, we have our thoughts about why, but like there's nothing that's like 100% like this is why, right? And so I would love to see Chennedy Carter back in the WNBA, but at the same time, this girl is having herself a blast in China. They love her. This girl is just scoring bucket after bucket after bucket. She's having a good time. And she's where she's appreciated in China, right? And will we see her in the WNBA? I don't know. Will we see her in a league like Unrivaled? It would be nice, but don't know. But one thing that she did talk about at the end that I was like, oh, what does that mean? Is she said you may see her doing other things because once you master one thing in this life and in the life of business, you continue to go and you elevate and you go to different things. And so, yeah. Will we see Chennedy Carter entering into a new business thing? Like, will we see her, do something else other than women's basketball? I don't know. I mean, but she did kind of hint to something. I'd be curious to know what that is. I'm sure y'all would be too as well. But hopefully we do see Chennedy Carter back in the WNBA because personally, it's just easier to watch her games in the WNBA than it is to watch all these YouTube channels for the WCBA. And so, yeah, hopefully we see her in the WNBA or in Unrivaled or maybe Project B, which, y'all, we haven't heard anything from Project B in a long time, and it's making me wonder: is Project B actually going to happen? Because they had all that momentum when they were bringing out players, and now we haven't heard anything in several weeks. What's going on with Project B? I'm just saying. Anyway, that's the show. Thank y'all so much for watching. Sorry for doing the stream on the Quita Loves Sports channel. That was not my intention. It was supposed to be on the Quita in the Morning channel. I don't know why I clicked the wrong button, but I did. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. Tomorrow on the Quita in the Morning channel. All right. Until next time, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. See y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set, go.